Hey, hey guys, welcome to Work Wednesday. I'm so excited to share with you guys today. I have a very special guest, Alicia Sikora, who I'm so happy to have on, has agreed just to kind of chat with you guys specifically today, all things working from home. I actually met Alicia not too long ago at an event for entrepreneurs, specifically building solely online, and we just hit it off. She's a mama of four. And so I certainly appreciate, I know there's a time difference and you've got littles in bed. Thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here. You left out how we were getting up at like 4 and 5 in the morning and we were staying up till 3 at night.
Yes, I would say that's more than hit it off. Like, you know, when you get to meet someone, you're just like, oh my God, like if I don't work with you in some capacity, like we have to be best buddies. Like that's the only kind of like staying up until 4 a.m. when you're in the hotel room, like, you know, just constantly just talking. So yeah, so happy that you agreed to do this. Look, I even did my like quarantine hair. I swear this is the first time I've done my hair since like the beginning of March.
I've been doing the same thing. I've been taking this stay-at-home thing a little too seriously, I think.
Well, you know, that's how we roll. And my kids are like, oh, you must be, you know, going live. But normally as you guys know on my page, like it doesn't stop me. I'll go live in my sweats and hat. But I'm super excited that you're here. Those of you that are new to the page, or if you're just hopping on, be sure to tell StreamYard, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. I would love to see your comments. Let me know as you're hopping on. Drop an emoji if you're a mama, or drop an emoji on how you're feeling during this quarantine right now. I would be dropping like a hair emoji right now because this is literally the first time I've done my hair. I need a haircut and some color probably, but that's all right. So drop me an emoji as you're popping on here. If you're new to my page, I'm so excited that you're here. My passion on this page is really helping entrepreneurs, network marketers, MLL, direct sales, affiliate, don't care, brick and mortar right now. A lot of those as well, building your system out online. And so that's what we're going to be chatting about today, is specifically building your skill sets, but also building, you know, specifically and almost solely online. So Alicia, I just want to start out. So thank you for being on. I want to know if you'll let my page know a little bit more about you. What is your background? I know you got a lot of little kiddos, you know, and basically about your journey as far as like getting to where we met and building our skill sets and building our business online.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thanks for having me on. It's such an honor to be on your page. And I have to throw this out here. When we met, I was scared to death of doing Facebook Lives, and Miss Emily was there by my side, literally helping me through my very first Facebook Live. So woohoo, how far I have come. That is just the kind of person she is. So right? Remember that, how scared I was?
Yes,
I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
No, you're fine. But did you die? No, you're fine. And they see now, look how good you are.
Oh, well, thank you. But I owe a lot of that to you, and just kind of holding my hand and giving me that confidence to go through it, and literally being there with me on my live to just, you know, say, look, you can do this. I'll do it with you. We'll do it together. And that's just the kind of person that she is. So for any of you on her page, it's like, is she legit or not? I am going to tell you that she didn't know me from Adam. And she quite literally was just by my side to help me get through that first step. So thank you. I probably wouldn't be here without you today. So yeah, I live in Middle Tennessee, right outside of Nashville, Vegas. We have 4 little girls. I started my entrepreneurial journey. I've kind of been into building businesses and kind of doing my own thing really for a long time. But I joined network marketing, honestly, without even knowing it was a network marketing company. Let's see, 4 years ago, I guess it was. And then I only had 2 little kids, and I was all about it. I was all gung-ho. I had really no idea what network marketing was. And when people are like, oh, is this one of those pyramid schemes? It's like, wait, you mean like corporate America? Because that's a pyramid. You know, you got one guy at the top, and then it goes down. Like, that's a pyramid. You know, this is like a castle, right? And I just didn't get it. I didn't know the stigma. I didn't know all the bad things that went along with it until I tried to build. And because I was all excited about it. And then when nobody shared my enthusiasm, I was like, what? But this is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
So that was really hard for me. And then we live on 20 acres in the middle of nowhere. I think there's like 600 and something people in my town. And I was literally printing out flyers and putting flyers in people's mailboxes in my neighbors to introduce myself. And I planned this big barbecue and invited people over to my house, complete strangers that I'd never met before. Did all these crazy things, went to college campuses and put up flyers, went to the library and put up flyers, you know, doing all these things, trying to build this business that I believed in, and got nowhere fast. That frustration. And then I fast forward a little bit, 2 more kids later, and no bigger warm audience, right? And it went from me going at a snail's pace to me not going at all. So it was really frustrating. I was really, really frustrated, and I still believed in it, and I believed in the concept, but I just couldn't make it work. And it got to the point where, you know, I have a kid on this hip and a kid on this hip, and I'm prospecting people in the grocery line because those are the only people I ever met, or in the school pickup line. And it just felt so inauthentic, and I just hated it. I hated trying to move the conversation in a direction that would lead to asking me about my business, right? Like trying to get that conversation, that ball rolling, so you could like flip it and be like, hey, so are you interested in fill in the blank, right? It just, even though my heart was in the wrong place, in the right place, I still felt wrong about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I think so many people can totally relate to building their business like that. And, you know, I recruited a lot of the same, where they're like, this doesn't feel good. This doesn't align with, you know, or we've all had, how many of you guys have had that objection of like, oh, I just don't want to like sell to, you know, my friends and my family, right? AKA or market. And it wasn't that they weren't going to share, but they didn't want to like continually bombard them. And God forbid, strangers, you've got 4 little girls at home, right? At this point. And you're like hosting like all these strangers, right? Or like, I literally ran an ad one time where it was like, I was prospecting people running errands and was getting hit on. I was like, oh my God, is this the kind of like I'm putting out? This is not what I want, right? If you're right, I'm done, because that is not my vibe. So I take,
no, you're taking me the wrong way, I swear.
Yes, exactly. No, not that. Like business, right? No. I know. I think a lot of people, especially, you know, once they get through their warm market, right? Like there's so many, you know, people out there, mamas, really, like that's where my heart really is. It's like the mamas who the family comes first, you know, they turn to direct sales or network marketing or, you know, whatever to contribute to the family. And what they end up doing is spending more than they make, right? And they're trying to recruit everybody who's really not interested in the business, right? They have to like convince them.
Right.
And we're not seeing enough wins, right? Because, you know, you might see a few people crushing it in your business, but those people came in with perhaps, and people don't talk about this, they came in with huge influence or years of building, you know, their warm market. So of course, you know, they've come with all this influence, but the average, like, you know, stay-at-home mom or momapreneur who's like, I'm like, holy crap, how am I supposed to go share with so-and-so and so-and-so and have 5, I mean, I can only have so many coffee dates. First of all, I can only have so many
right.
And then I'm trying to prospect while I'm running errands because I got to get crap done. Like, I think so many people can relate to that.
Absolutely. I mean, going to the library, going to MOPS groups and La Leche League groups, and kind of doing all that for the wrong reasons, you know? Yeah. Like, yes. So I was trying to build a network because I didn't have a network here, right, close. So I was trying to build a friend network. But like I said, it was like always in the back of my mind where I wonder if this person would want to build with me. You know, maybe we can be friends and we can be, it was always a running mate. I was always looking for a running mate. Someone to
so many people
with
feel that way. Yes, I feel like it. Hey, Linda, thanks for saying hey and hanging out with us. yeah, you need that, like you hear like, oh, you need that running, that running buddy, right?
Right, exactly. Or the accountability partner.
Yes, exactly. So you have 4 littles at this time at home, right? You're trying to build, traditionally, or I mean, it is old school, right? I mean, we know better, we do better, right? So at what point, I mean, because clearly you didn't give up, which is amazing. That's freaking amazing. I had 4 little
kids. I'm too stubborn for that.
I don't know. Like, I'm not a quitter, right? So you kind of pivoted. So tell me about like what that decision, what was that? Did you come across someone's ad? Did you fall on a lead magnet or tripwire?
Absolutely. I actually fell into a lead magnet twice. So this is a good story. So I ended up joining or learning about attraction marketing when I had kid number 2. And I think I was pregnant with number 3 at the time. And it was, build your business online. You don't have to leave the house anymore. No more prospecting. And I was like, sign me up, right? Like, it didn't take much of that ad to convince me that this is what I wanted to do. And then after number 3 was born, and then back to back, my 3 and 4 are like 15 months apart, 16 months apart.
Oh, yes.
So I joined, and I bought the book. I think I bought a coaching for a year, right? And then I just did nothing with it. Like, it was a complete waste of money, because after about 3 months, I just couldn't do it. I mean, life happened, and I just was done. And so after number 4 was about a year old, I started kind of feeling like myself again, started getting some sleep a little bit. And then I got that itch again. I was like, I got to do something. I was really, really busy in the corporate world. I was good at my job. I was traveling all over the place. I was handling multi-million-dollar contracts. I had 3 different tech labs under my belt that I was managing. Like, I was doing stuff, right? And not to say that being a mom isn't rewarding, because I wouldn't give it up for anything. And I chose to be a stay-at-home mom. But I was just missing something. I was missing that fulfillment of being able to like really reach out and help other people. And that's what I did through all these different events. Yes, it was technical, but so my job was to meet the end user, meet the customer, hear their gripes and complaints, and then take that information, turn it into something usable to the software engineers, who would then implement that. And then I would take the software, I would test it, and then I would go put it back in front of the customer and say, hey, is this what you were looking for? So I was taking those needs, and I would come full circle and fulfill them, right? And I was missing that in my life. I loved it. It gave me so much fulfillment to say, oh, that 1 button click is so much easier than the 6 button clicks I would do before, right? So I was just missing that.
Don't you think?
What's that?
Like, that's what I feel like that's what we do, right? Like, you hear all these people and they're just like so frustrated, and they're griping and they're complaining, and I'm not rank advancing, and I don't know how to build online, and I'm overwhelmed, and I'm getting scammed. Like, I bought these courses and they didn't help, or right. And you're just like taking all of that and like putting them on a roadmap with step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, right? And just that play system, and able to help them. And I always tell people, I'm like, the system is way bigger than I am. It's tech guru. I am not a tech guru. So if I can build online, anybody can.
Right. And so for me, I was not on social media. I had sworn off social media because I got caught in the scroll hole, as you say. And
yeah, you can get down
when my kids were little, when they were like trying to steal the phone, I was like, you know what, that I'm on this phone way too much. And I got off everything. I was not on, I still had a Facebook account, but I wasn't on it at all. I wasn't on any of the other social media accounts. So for me, I very intentionally had to get back on social media. And I was like, whoa, this is way different from when I used to be on it. I had to relearn. I felt like an old granny getting a phone for the first time. I had no idea how to use anything. And I'm still struggling with a lot of really silly things, trying to figure out how to navigate Facebook. But yeah, so I went down, and it was like 10:30 one night, and I couldn't sleep, and I was doing the scroll, and it was another ad. And it was something called Social Media Enroller. And I was like, oh, I need that, right? So I go down the funnel and I end up in the exact same place I signed in, and they're like, well, you already have an account. And I was like, no, I don't. And then sure enough, it had been the same program that I'd signed up for 2 years ago. And I was like, you know what? This is a sign. Like, I don't believe in coincidences. You know, one time, sure. 2 times, okay, I need to look into this. So I did, and I went all in. It was that weekend that I signed up and went to this, or I signed up for the event that I met you, and I signed up for the higher level program to get the coaching and to get that step-by-step roadmap. And I haven't looked back. I've just been following step by step in this journey. And I can't say that I'm an overnight success, right? But really, I have learned so much and I have come so far. There's no stopping. Like I have seen people that I have met personally that have followed the same process, and I see where they are right now. So I know that as long as I just keep doing the things, that it's only a matter of time. My heart's in the right place. I'm doing all the things, and the sky's the limit. I mean, there's how many tens of thousands of people on social media every day that your market just got so much bigger. I went from 650 people to half the world, right? So
exactly.
It really is a powerful, powerful resource.
And you no longer feel that way, right? It's like, you were saying like before you had this like, fulfilling career, and you made the choice, to be that stay-at-home mom,
right.
Which I had those years myself. But then I wasn't ready to go back to that career, but I really wanted to make a difference and make an impact. And I saw what this could do for my family. So when I tell people and they're just like, oh, well, I'm not techie. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't even know how to start building my business online. My thing was like, okay, well, I tried it off and I sucked at it. I didn't like how it felt. Like, I didn't like feeling like I had to like talk to people about my business every freaking where I went for it to build big enough and fast enough. Right.
Right.
And, online, I was willing to learn. And I think that was like a key for me. I was frustrated enough and I saw enough potential about what it could be that I was simply just willing to learn. And I saw that like with you, it was like, okay, look, I got off social media, right? Because, and look, scroll hole is a real deal, right? Like if you're a mom and you
set a timer. Pro tip, set a timer.
Right. So that's exactly what I tell people, be intentional, be a power hour, reach out to people. Hey guys, if you're just hopping on, say, hey, Jen, hey, Missy, thanks for hanging out with us. So I think so many, moms specifically can relate because, for me, I just got tired of like feeling that way myself, but also like seeing, like you said, like you had how many kids you were having them, bam, bam, bam. You didn't give up. So many do because they're not winning, right? They're not, it's not a plug and play. It's not a system. And, I was willing to be in it, to learn the skill sets for the long haul. And I know you were as well. You were like, all right, well, if we say I got to be on social media, then social media it is. I'm going to be intentional. And I need to do a Facebook Live, even if my voice squeaks, right, I'm going to do it. And if you're willing to do it, like you no longer feel like you have to have those icky conversations, right? And you no longer feel like, because you're in complete control of how you're building, right? Like you're able to connect with people all over the world. That's a powerful, we talked earlier about that running mate. It's like, I love that I get to connect with you and, so many other like strong mommapreneurs that are just determined to like take that next step. And I think that, as mamas specifically, like maybe we're not those overnight successes, right? But a lot of us, our family comes first, but yet we still want to build big. Like you were saying, like you held these multiple like $1 million contracts, and so you knew what that was like. So to be able to produce that kind of like level in your career, but do it online and your family still be like priority.
Right.
Like for me, that was just like mind blowing, right?
That's a big key, is still putting your family first.
Absolutely. But at the same time, be in control of it. And I just think that so many, they think that they still, it's too techy, or, they're the old school. And I did that for a while. I literally had like 1 foot in old school and 1 foot in new school. And I finally wasn't really doing well in either. And I just had to go full out. Yeah. Yeah.
You have to, really.
And that was hard. It was hard. It was really hard. I'm not going to lie, because I was okay. I was doing okay. Right. And I think there's a lot of moms that I talk with on the daily, and they're doing okay. Right. Not bad, but not great. Right. And I was like, well, what if you just pivoted just a little bit? Right. And then you could do great.
Right. Yep. What is the saying that good is the opponent of great, or something like that?
Yes.
You ever heard that saying before?
Yes, absolutely. So that's why it made sense for you, but made sense for me, I should say. But specifically, what is it about building online that made sense for you now in moving forward?
Mostly that I could do it from home, that I didn't have to try to negotiate a babysitter, which I didn't have, and leave my kids crying, grabbing my legs. I'm like, I'm with you all day long, but still mommy's leaving and the waterworks come out, right? And it just makes you feel so guilty, and fighting with my husband because the only time I get to see him is at night. And here I was taken off trying to, build this business that he didn't necessarily believe would ever work. And not that he didn't believe in me, because he said that all the time. I believe in you. I just don't believe in network marketing. I just don't think that is going to work. And I think there's so many people that illegitimize the business, and it's such a disservice, and it's so disheartening, because there really are great products and great companies and great people in them. And so it's a shame that it gets such a bad rap. If you look at people like, I just totally spaced on his name, multi-millionaires, right? Who was I trying to say? I'll think of it. Warren Buffett. He's a huge network marketing advocate. He says all the time, don't go back to college, join a network marketing company, right? And he's a probably billionaire, one of the richest people in the world. And if he thinks it's a good industry and it's good enough for him, maybe we should take a second look at it. But there's just such a nasty stigma around it. And it's been so nice to be able to meet people who kind of already agree, right? You can find an audience that you don't have to talk them into network marketing. They already understand the value of network marketing, and then you can just take that next step forward. But one of the things I was going to say is there's this cliche of, oh, it's so much fun. Oh, I'm having so much fun. Like in my network marketing company, right? The tagline was, have fun, make money, make a difference. And it was never fun. No, okay. So going to like the conventions and seeing the people that I absolutely love and I absolutely adore, the people in my upline. And don't get me wrong, I've made a lot of good friends in my network marketing company. But so that was fun. But the rest of it was not fun. Right. Not fun at all. And here, it's like you learn just a little bit, and then you turn around and you teach somebody else. And then like literally right off the bat, they have this aha moment. And just how many people I've been able to help break through those barriers, just whatever it is. There's tons and tons of things you can help people do. Like you helped me get on live, right? And it's just so satisfying. It's almost better. I don't know, but it's so worth it just to be able to help somebody else and have them have that breakthrough. That the best part of all this is leading with value, that I can give back to people, I can help people, and I never once say, hey, come join my team. I never once say, I have a product that can solve that, right? I just give them help. I just, listen to what their need is, and I turn around and I tell them what their need is, and you start building these relationships, and then, all of a sudden out of the blue, they're like, well, hey, where did you learn that from? Can you tell me more about blah, blah, blah? And so they ask you, right? They come to you and say, hey, I'd really like to know more. So you're never fishing for people anymore. You're never having to worry about twisting that conversation anymore. And it's fun. I love helping people. It really is fun.
Yes. I agree. It's totally fun. And there's a lot of, I've actually done a live on this, like why, just because you love your product doesn't make it a good business. I feel like there's a lot of really good companies and really good products out there. But the reason why it's getting a bad rap is because of how they're teaching and they're training, and they're really stuck, 20 years ago or even 10 years ago, And a lot of them would probably say, oh, yeah, we teach, social media or online or whatever. But what I found is it's a lot of don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And it's in protecting the company, which is great. But that's where when you, like you said, you can turn around and teach, the power of helping people take their business back and teaching them the power of self-branding themselves and, the skill sets of learning. It actually doesn't matter what company, you're in. Now, next week, I'm not talking about like a plug and play system. Like when you do have a company that is on board and is, on the cutting edge of that, that's super powerful. But, it can be as simple as just creating your own business page. A lot of people traditionally, they're scrambling to find one new team member, a month or, whatever. Like I think a few customers or like one team member. And now it's like, if I had 10 butts in the seat before in a presentation, that was decent, right? And so now, like I can make one video and I can email it to my email list. I can put it on YouTube. I can share it on here on this page. I can share it on another page, right? If you're having to repeat yourself, I put it in chats a lot. I do a lot in Messenger. And so that's so powerful in that you're not repeating yourself, because that's where it got not fun for me. Because when my team was like doing well, I was on the freaking telephone and they're like, work your business from your phone. They meant the telephone, not like the actual phone. It didn't actually really need to be your actual phone, right? I could use the wall one. I mean, for me, that wasn't fun. I wanted it to be,
more freedom.
A little bit more freedom than locking myself in my room for hours and hours and hours and literally repeating the same presentation to one person at a time. And so
you just can't scale. There's no leverage at all. And that's what's so cool about this. One of my really good friends in network marketing, she is rocking it. And she has a big team and she's doing well. And she has 4 kids too. And she called me the other day and she's like, I'm so exhausted. She's like, I didn't realize like getting to those higher levels, how much work it is and how tiring it is. And I'm like, girl, I got something you need to look at. Because like you said, you can send one email and reach hundreds or thousands of people. You can give training courses and you can teach your entire downline all at the same time, right? So you can really, that's the power of this, is you can leverage your time and reach so many more people through this.
Yeah. And Facebook pages, Facebook groups are so powerful for building these teams and doing the online trainings, right? So I was getting on Zoom calls, but like I was repeating myself just so much. So the power of, like you said, leveraging it into putting it, online, but also it gives them the running buddy that they need too, because they don't have to be in the same, time zone. And it's so hard to get on the telephone when you've got different time zones. Trust me, I know. And now
my team's in Utah. I get it.
Messenger is my freaking friend, because like I talk to Australia quite a bit, UK quite a bit. And, that Messenger doesn't matter, right? I can leave a message. You can leave a message. I can leave a message, and we can continue that conversation, going. And I know a lot of teams are using, like, starting to use or are using Messenger, but the power of building, online specifically and building out that funnel is once you even do one step, right? Like, and I want to get this from you so you can be thinking, I want you to think of a couple tips that you want to share, because if you just build a business page, like I helped someone build a business page, and literally your first goal is to build it to 100 people so that you can run likes, campaigns, and ads, right? And 100 people, and that's our starting point, right? And you're like, you had 100 people in front of you on like a lot, like a presentation and in person. That's a lot of freaking people. Yet online,
I don't think I prospected 100 people in 3 years.
Yeah, but online it's so easy.
I'm saying doing the old school way, right? Trying to do it in the shopping lines.
Exactly.
You know?
And I think a lot of people have this mentality like, oh, to crush it online, like I need millions of followers. No, you don't. You freaking need a good business page. You create your content and you go find your people, just like you were talking about, to where you're already, they're looking for you. So when you're running that likes campaign and you're running, those ads, the algorithm is literally working for you while you're making those 4 kiddos dinner, while you're
Facebook's finding those prospects for you. You don't have to go out and look anymore.
Yes, and that is game changer, right? Because that allows you now to spend more time, with your family. So, so I love that. So if you were to share, I don't know, 1 or 2 like tidbit tips about like, for the beginner or the mompreneur, she's like, yes, I really want to build online. I'm already in a company, what would you say would be the most effective in helping them get started? What would be your takeaways?
Let's see, that's a really great question. I would say the first thing is probably look into a business page. Yes, you can do things on your personal profile, but your Facebook limits you to 5,000 friends on your personal profile. So I don't know about you, but why would you want to limit yourself to only 5,000, right? When you go online, you have to start thinking a little bigger. What's that?
I was going to say, my friends and family, like I've spoken with a couple people even today. They're like, I've been in so many businesses. They're like, I don't even want to share with my friends and family. Or the opposite, and I got this today too. They're like, I don't want those people working with me. Like I would rather go with people.
And that's the other thing is who's on your Facebook page right now? Old high school friends that I haven't seen in 15 years, old military buddies. And yeah, some of them I keep in track with, but they're not business builders. They're not really interested in the same things that I'm into. I don't even know what they're doing anymore, right? Your Aunt Sally, your Uncle fill in the blank, right? And it's fun to have those people and have a connection with them, but you can also just like text them, right? So having a page that's dedicated to other people who want what you have, right? That you can teach, that you can learn from, that you can bounce things off of each other. So I really getting a business page and kind of, separating that out, I would say is a big thing. And then, like you said, let Facebook do the heavy lifting for you. So you can go so far as to say, like, somebody liked one of your posts or somebody commented on your video, and you can say this, Facebook, show me more people like this, and then put an ad directly to them. And it's people who are already engaged, who already like, say you're in health and fitness or health and wellness or whatever, and they already like those things, right? They already are warm to network marketing. They're already out there searching. They've done a search that says, hey, what are some good network marketing companies, right? You can target specifically to them. It is scary, all the information that we give Facebook and that they're keeping. But when you're on the other side of it and you can start utilizing it, it is so powerful. And think about it. If you're going to see an ad, wouldn't you want to see an ad about something you're interested in?
Yeah.
I would. So I would say that's a biggie. Probably the best thing about using attraction marketing is leading with value and being able, you don't have to be the expert. You don't have to be the teacher. I guess we're going to go back to the old cliche of sharing, right? But you tell your story from your perspective and you just share where you're at and just be genuine and just be honest. And you don't have to say, yeah, I'm a multimillionaire. I think almost that's too far out of reach for most people, right? They're not seeing a 6-figure income or a 7-figure income. Yes, that is totally possible. And it is totally possible in a shorter amount of time than any of us can ever fathom. But it doesn't have to be that, right? It can just be those little milestones that if you're one step ahead of the next person, you have something to share. You have something to give, and you can lead with that value. And there's always something more to learn, and there's always things that are changing. So you're never going to have to worry about like working yourself out of a job, right? Because as long as you're still learning, then you can still provide that value. It's funny because my oldest is in 2nd grade, right? And she's looking at these 3rd graders thinking, oh, these 3rd graders are like gods, right? They're in 3rd grade. They've arrived. They're the cat's meow. but they're just one step ahead of her, you know? So but that's the next step for her. And so she's so excited about being in 3rd grade. And that's just what it is with this. You don't have to be a 6-figure earner. You don't have to have multiple teams on multiple legs and drive a Ferrari and live in a mansion. That's not really relatable to anybody anyways. You know, you see an ad with somebody standing in front of a Lamborghini and you're like, oh, must be nice. Scroll, 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 right?
Not relatable either. And sometimes not relatable, and sometimes like not true. That's why people get so skeptical, because there are people claiming this, you know, whatever. And today, I'm not kidding. So today the conversation was helping, like, oh my God, I got a comma check in my first month of this plug and play system. And I was like, that's awesome, right?
Nice.
And then it was, I worked for years in another company and wasn't able to consistently bring that. And then another one was like, well, she was like, well, and she has more of a following. So she did bring, and she's like, yes, $5,000 a month, you know, not income claims. I'm just saying, like, you know, $1,000, $5,000, that's game changing for families.
Absolutely.
And I just was so tired of seeing people not win, not move up the ranks, like not earn that comma check, or, you know, let's make 2 digits in front of it. Right. And when you do build that business page that you talked out and you're using Facebook, you know, you can schedule out your posts. You don't have to be present to always be doing those. And, you know, you might be thinking, well, there's apps for that, but Facebook loves when you play by their rules, and that's super important. And so I do everything within it itself and scheduling those out. And I'm going to be able to post more about my business on my business page than I would ever want to do on my personal page. And that's,
well, if you're gonna play on their playground, you got to play by their rules, right?
Exactly. But
we are using their tool.
Yes, but those are your people, so you're connecting. You know, better connections, I have found, right? Because you're not talking to, like you said, like somebody from like 10 years ago. Like I get those, I feel like we all get those messages every day. You know, have you taken a look at this? I asked a guy yesterday, I go, does this really work for you? Like, I don't even know this guy. You're like, hey, check out my link. And I'm like, God, you know you're spamming, right? Like, oh,
right.
You know, I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help him. He's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, okay, well, and then like 2 days later, he was like, oh, I think you could help me.
I mean, seriously. So you're offline spamming people, or you're online spamming people, but it's still spam. It's still sleazy. Well, kind of offense to people that are doing that, but I mean, seriously, stop. Every day I get messages. Hey, do you want to buy my product? I'm like, who are you again? I'm like, no. No. Yeah. Does that really work for you?
and honestly, he said yes originally. And this is just one conversation, right? I mean, I'm on, you know, constantly responding. And I was like, is that really working for you? And he's like, yeah, it works great. And then literally like 48 hours later, he's like, whoa. Actually, can we chat? Like, can we chat? Can we see? Like, I think you can help me. And I'm like, I absolutely can help you not do that, right? Like, if you're open to learning more, we can do that. So I guess that's what I want to leave everyone with today. Oh my gosh, it flies when I'm chatting with you. We better watch it, or it will be 4 a.m. again. But
that's how that happened.
Yeah. So I would say, you know, if you're new to building online, that business page is absolutely key. Feel free. Thank you so much, Alicia, for being on today and your takeaways. You are absolutely, like, I love it. Like, just progressing, and both of us are getting our skill sets, and I love it. It's so powerful when you no longer feel stuck or frustrated, right? There's always
I was just going to say that. You took the words right out of my mouth. If there was anything that this has done for me, is I was so angry because I couldn't do it. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? Right? Yep. Like, why can't I do this?
Way. I totally feel it. Like, you're like, okay, well, I must be doing something wrong, right? So then you go back to mindset.
You're like,
I really did so much, so much mindset work. I was like, oh my God, if anyone gives me any more freaking mindset work, I'm going to scream, right? I think let me know if you have ever felt that way. I was like, just tell me what to do. I need some brass and tacks for what to do. And that's exactly what this attraction marketing is, because so many are still doing it wrong. They're doing like, you know, this guy was doing like spamming me links. I get them every day, which is just conversations that I get to have if they're open, you know, to learning to build online. But the biggest takeaway I would say is I was so tired of feeling like I constantly had to be thinking about my business to grow it, constantly had to be bringing up conversations for it to grow, and it still wasn't growing, right? And then you're feeling stuck and frustrated because you literally don't know what else to do, and you're told just go find more people. So you're trying to have
doing it, just keep doing the same thing over and over. That's not working.
And I felt like I was like beating my head against the wall. I'm like, this is not working. To now, like literally having people reach out to me every single day and having something, right? Like, it's like, okay, if you want to build online, I can absolutely help you. If you're looking for a new, you know, company because maybe theirs isn't working, maybe their upline doesn't support them building, you know, online or, you know, using systems and going, hey, this is game changer if you, you know, plug and play system and you're able to help them, like you said. And it's so fun. Then it becomes fun because it is fun to learn. And I'm such a teacher snob here, right? Like I am having fun if I'm learning and if I'm teaching and helping others, right? Like,
there's so much value in that.
Absolutely.
You know, you feel valuable because you're helping somebody else, and then you feel better about yourself because you're learning something new. And it's just this whole cycle, this self-rewarding cycle.
And
really the biggest thing is, before in my network marketing business, like I just felt like I was in a fog, right? I had no, like, I didn't know where I was going. It was like I was driving like granny, you know, I couldn't see 2 inches ahead of me. And now it's a clear, bright, sunshiny day, and I can see for miles and I can see for miles. I know where the road is. You know, I know there's going to be a bump here and a bump there, but I'm okay with that because I can see what's ahead of me and I have that path. And the whole time growing my network marketing business, I just felt stuck in the fog. And for the first time, it's been lifted. And so I really only started a couple months ago, and it has been no problem for me to do daily tasks and get it done because I know exactly what they are. I have my check sheet up on the wall. So it's check, 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 got it. I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what to look ahead. Everything's there for you. So
I'm super impressed.
It's so empowering, I think, because you can go at your own pace. You can go as fast as you want or as slow as you want. You know, I really only have an hour or two to build a day because I have, you know, all the kids and the farm and everything. Right. So I probably could go faster if I was single and didn't have all what I have right now. But as it is.
Yes. I used to think that so much. I'm like, oh, I could have crushed this. Like when it was old school, I was like, oh, I could have crushed this if only I could like get out of the house away from my kids. And now it brings all of that power back, which like you said. And then, oh yeah, side note, you freaking make money. Like that's the thing. I was like talking to a mama the other day and she was telling me that she only made like a couple, like a few $100. And I was like, that sucks. I was like,
yeah, that doesn't pay for your auto ship.
Yes. And at the end of the day, it's still a business. And look, like you said, you can go fast, you can go slow. But my goal was to help people win. And it is at the end of the day, yes, we want to have fun, but you want to make money and you want to, like, we talked about this the other day on something else. I think it was another page, but it was like trying to, you know, convince your spouse, right? Especially if you've been in previous companies and you failed. And one of the biggest things is show them the money, right? Like show them the money, your partner. One guy was like, oh yeah, my wife is like done with, like, she's done with me. And then he started like building online and he was like, bam. And then she was back in. And I was like, that's so me the most.
It's amazing how fast the tide changes.
1 month. I know. So, you know, it's amazing what you can do when you have the systems that are set out before you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've seen people come in and day 1, day 2, they're making commissions. I mean, it's not, it maybe not be typical, but it's definitely not unheard of because we see it every single day in our community.
Well, I made several, like they kept telling me, like when I first started, they're like, you're not going to make money off your first ad or whatever. And I made several and I was like, oh, this is fun. Right?
It's
and I was like, oh, this is really fun. So yeah, so you have fun and make money. Those are important. But yes, online systems are where it's at. Thank you, Alicia, so much. Okay, so if you want to follow Alicia, is it Alicia Sikora? Is that your page?
It's Living with Providence by Alicia Sikora.
Living with Providence. Okay, so we'll drop that in the comments below. I'll make sure that gets down there if you would like to follow Alicia. She is crushing like her checklist things every day. I hear
I'd love to have you. It's a lot of fun.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's so good seeing you.
All right, thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll see you next time.
All right, stay safe.